Is this how you go to work?
Oh, yeah.
That's how you go to work.
Yeah.
That's clean.
Clean, the perennial all-pro linebacker, always on point. Is this how you go to work?
No. When you're a running back and you're running the ball for Mike Martz, that's how you go to work.
What a catch! Touchdown, Rams!
I think we got our swagger back.
Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside.
Got a receiver at the goal line, and Corey Holt comes back to catch it for a touchdown.
Move along, move along. Come inside, the show's about to start. Guaranteed to blow your head apart. Rest assured, you'll get your money's worth. Greatest show in
Running with the football. Got some room. He's taken all the way. Touchdown! Yeah! What a comeback!
Monday Night Countdown is delivered by UPS.
The arts can only mean, well, two things. It's St. Louis, and balls are about to fly in the air. This is how we play in Monday Night Countdown. Stewart, TJ, Michael, Jaws. A day after running backs who busted 100 yards led their teams to 7-0 records, QBs take center stage on this night. Mark Bulger, 7 touchdown passes to 5 different receivers this year. And Brian Griese, who goes from third string to starter in a week, Tom.
Come on, man.
I'm just stating the facts.
Come on, man. Well, look, here's the thing. This is Indy car versus bumper car. If you fall behind by 10 points early on, you'll never be able to catch up.
Wait a minute.
Never be able to catch up.
If St. Louis, who you talking about? If who falls behind?
Look, you know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about, and here's all I can say to this. Tampa Bay, they have a problem, what's the word I'm looking for? Scoring. They have a problem scoring, and that's the problem tonight.
And when I think about it, man, I'm thinking about the #1 defense versus the #1 offense. What a great, I know it was 1999. I know I'm talking about 1999. They're not quite that anymore, but it's still a good matchup.
That's right.
Tampa Bay's defense versus the Rams offense.
Yeah, but since that 99 game, the Bucs have won the last 3 meetings between these two teams. But I agree with Tommy.
There you are.
I agree with Tommy in this one. You talk about, on offense, I mean, the Rams come at you with waves of talent. John Gruden likes to think of himself as a great designer of offense, and he is. But I'll tell you what, he's going to be envious of watching those Rams out there tonight.
Right.
They have speed and quickness.
Whoa. Brian Griese is the highest.
Come on, man.
Whoa. His completion percentage is the highest ever for a career in Monday Night Football.
Come on, man.
Give him his props,
And the Bucs have beaten the Rams 3 straight times in Monday Night Football.
There are certain things that you got to get over, Tom.
But this is a different deal. John Gruden's Bucs start their 3rd QB in the last 3 weeks, and in Brian Griese, a former starter in Denver and Miami, who many believe no longer even has the real passion to play the game. The Rams have the league's most productive offense. The Bucs, well, they got to stop them. Ed Werder, speak the word.
Stewart, I just spoke to John Gruden, and he told me he believes that his team will play the Rams tough, that they know how to play the Rams, and he believes the Bucs started the process of turning their season around last week under Brian Griese, who tonight becomes their 3rd different starting quarterback in 3 games. Now, Gruden thinks this will work because he has more mobility in the pocket than Brad Johnson and more experience than Chris Sims. Sims is inactive tonight because of that shoulder injury he suffered last week. That means that Johnson, the former starter, will be the backup tonight. As for the Rams, look for them to be aggressive early in the game on offense. They simply believe that Mark Bulger needs opportunities to make plays and create momentum for 2 reasons. They think their receivers are better than the Tampa Bay secondary, and they marvel at how much Bulger's improved his performance against the blitz.
Fairly well. You know, there's always room for improvement, but we did a good job of it last week, and we're doing some new things, and it's paid off.
The other thing, you look at the number of receivers you've gotten involved, and you've thrown touchdown passes to 4 different wide receivers, some obscure guys like Sean McDonald. What does that mean? How does that bode? Where does this offense go from here, do you think?
That's key. You know, Coach Marsh does a great job with matchups with Isaac and Torrey and Marshall, but when you can get a 3rd or 4th DB on a 3rd or 4th receiver, that's what you look to exploit. And now that those guys are coming into their own, it's helping out a lot.
What about having a second running back option?
You would think that the matchup that would concern the Rams tonight would be Simeon Rice, but he had a sack, an interception, and forced a fumble, batted down 3 passes the last time they played. But, of course, they believe that Orlando Pace, their left tackle, can handle him singly, Stuart, so they're not going to give him any help. They think it's a fluke if he gets a sack tonight.
All right, Ed, we will hear from you later on in the show. Look out, Patriots. The Jets are just 15 straight wins from tying their record. Can the Jets do next week what some people thought Seattle would do this week in the fun in Foxborough? And for 3 quarters, folks were like, yo, where's Michael Vick? 4th quarter comes, they're like, oh, okay. There he is. Why it took all that time for Vic to show up. And if one of your boys shows up to work today with a huge smile on his face, it might mean he's got Dante and his fantasy team, Pepper, pouring all kinds of salt on the Saints' wounds next.
Life got simple the day I plugged into the big brown machine. West Coast overnight, done. China, 48 hours, done. Brown picks it all up together and delivers it all on time. And with their global tracking system, I get the proof. It isn't that I'm not a trusting person. Yes, it is.
UPS delivers more packages on time than anyone. UPS. What can Brown do for you?
What's cold? The frozen tundra, painted faces and flags. What's cold? Full blitzes, quarterbacks getting sacked. You see the air when they breathing? This is NFL season. What's the coldest tasting beer? Coors Light is freezing. No matter where you watch the game, we know you love cold beer. The frost is here, that hard-hitting time of the year. And we'll climb and we'll fight and claw our way to the finish. It's cold like that, and you could either watch it or live it.
Coors Light, the coldest tasting beer in the world.
What were we thinking about when we gave the Kia Sedona a powerful standard engine? What were we thinking about when we gave it such a great warranty and priced it thousands less than our competitors? What were we thinking about when we designed it to get the government's highest safety rating? What were we thinking? We were thinking about Scotty, Nanny, Poppy, Uncle Larry, Derek, Eric, Dad, and Mr. Mophead. The always family-friendly Kia Sedona.
Right now, get $2,500 cash back on a Sedona.
We see you building a new company from an old company, turning vision into reality, to success. We see you. We see your potential. We are inspired to create software that helps you reach it.
Monday Night Countdown is delivered by UPS. What can Brown do for you? And in part by the coldest tasting beer in the world, Coors Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. And Kia Motors. Kia, make every mile count.
If you missed it, shame on you. And if you missed it, ooh, you missed it. Dante Culpepper, 5 touchdown passes in the game for the 3rd time this season yesterday. That's a record. The Vikings' 38-31 win over the Saints. Pep now has 18 touchdown passes his first 5 games. That's 3 ahead of the pace that Dan Marino set in Marino's 48 touchdown pass season back in 1984. But Pep's going to have a hard time throwing 5 TDs if Randy Moss is not in the lineup. The Freak has never missed an NFL game, but last night suffered a strained hamstring. The Vikings will wait till Friday to decide his status. You see him right there. As soon as he went down, called the trainers, y'all come get me. But he was still on the sidelines giving his boys love. Eagles, 5th straight win. They blew out the Panthers in a rematch of last year's NFC title game. Eagles just the 4th team since 1960 to win their first 5 games by at least 10 points. The last Eagle team to start 5-0 back in 1981. The quarterback then.
Thank you.
Ron Jaworski.
Yours truly.
It's interesting. Get this. There's a football game next weekend, guys. Let's see. Patriots versus Jets. I don't know. You might want to check it out. It's same division, so there's a little intrigue there. Both teams undefeated. That's interesting. What else? What else? Jets are 5-0 for the first time in franchise history. Patriots are 20-0, their last 20 for the first time in franchise and forever history. I got to see this one. What? We got 2 reports previewing it? Great. Here's Kelly Neal.
For all the talk of the Patriots' 20 consecutive game win streak, New England's perfect start includes wins against 3 teams with a combined 2-14 record. Facing the more formidable Seahawks last Sunday, the Patriots overcame mental lapses and miscues late in the game to secure the win, a luxury they might not have in Sunday's matchup against the 5-0 Jets.
The type of mistakes we had yesterday is we let a couple guys run free. You can't do that against teams that are undefeated, good teams. We have to execute. We have to communicate better. We can't turn the ball over.
They're physically tough. They're mentally tough. So I think every time the ball snapped, we're going to have a big challenge in front of us, no matter what phase of the game it is. And if we don't play our best, then I doubt if we'll be able to beat them.
New England's biggest challenge might be stopping the Jets' Curtis Martin. The NFL's leading rusher will face a Patriots rushing defense which ranks 10th in the AFC. Martin has rushed for over 100 yards in 4 of this season's 5 games.
We know about Curtis Martin. It just seems like everybody's starting to know about him now because he's moving up the all-time rushing list. But us here in this locker room know Curtis. We know he's one of the better runners in the league, if not the best in the league.
Curtis is pound for pound probably the strongest player in the league, certainly one of the strongest. And he's got great vision. Hard to get a solid hit on him. He can do it all.
Since the beginning of last season, the Patriots are 12-0 against teams with winning records. The last time they lost to a team that finished with a winning record was also the last time they lost at home, in December 2002, against the New York Jets. In Foxborough, Kelly Neal, ESPN.
For months, Bill Belichick has forbid the Patriots from even glancing back at history, determined they not take their eyes off the game ahead. On Monday, Herm Edwards tried a different approach to his players' historic 5-0 start. He gave them the day off, with the precise instruction to revel in what they've done.
It's taken 45 years for any team to do that here. So that should be something that you should kind of asterisk, and these players they did it. And the coaching staff did it, and it's a credit to those guys, and I wanted them to enjoy that.
Edwards has the experience to know of what he speaks. He's been 5-0 before as an assistant with Tampa Bay, and he was 6-0 as a player with Philadelphia.
I told him, before we played, I said, hey, I'm still one of those guys on the Eagles team. The Eagles have all these great teams. They've never been to the Super Bowl, but once. I was a part of that team. That's what players have to realize. You got to appreciate some of the things you do along the way.
But Edwards and his staff are not afraid of negative reinforcement either. Against the 49ers Sunday, defensive coordinator Donnie Henderson was so frustrated with his squad early, he actually stormed from the coach's booth to the field to chew out his players.
I don't know if it was lackadaisical or just, emotion was down. There was no energy. I was just trying to get down as fast as I can to make sure I could clear some of the things up that was going bad.
The Jets have been criticized for not being dominant enough in games like Sunday's against San Francisco. They've been told their streak is soft because none of the teams they've played currently have winning records. Then again, the Patriots have only played 2 teams who have winning records. On Sunday, it'll be 3. In Hempstead, Rachel Nichols, ESPN.
Rachel Kelly, thanks a lot. Now, the Jets are 5-0, but I mean, the 4 of us, Gina, our floor director, our 6 camera operators, we might be able to go maybe 2-3 against the teams that the Jets have played. Tommy, how good really are the Jets?
Well, I think they're very good, and I love the psychology of Coach Bill Belichick when he says to them, look, we won 20 straight games, but if we don't play our best ball, we won't be able to beat these guys. That's a great line to give to your football team, but there is a grain of truth to it. When you look at the Jets, you see the running back position, Curtis Martin, Corey Dillon. I think that's a wash. Both of them outstanding. Give the edge maybe at quarterback to Brady. He's got 2 MVPs in the Super Bowl. They won 20 straight games, but Chad Pennington's certainly somebody you could put at the helm. We've got an offensive line. That's a wash. The wide receivers. I want to see how far the Jets defense has come in terms of their poise. I know they're faster. They had to be faster than what they were last year. So now, how far have they come? Can they go into Foxborough and play a solid, fundamentally sound football?
Yeah, and they're going to have to. But I also like the approach that Herman Edwards is taking psychologically. I had a chance to talk to Terry Bradway, the Jets general manager, this afternoon, and they're excited about being 5-0. They're excited for the first time in franchise history. They made history this week by going 5-0. So Herman Edwards is selling his football team on the positive, what they can do. But they're also very realistic. They know that New New England is a complete football team. And as you look at his Jets, defensively right now, they're tackling very well. That's very important. But they've built their team on the front seven, the defensive line and linebackers. I think what New England will try to do, Michael, is exploit the secondary with 3 and 4 wide because they have talent there.
And you're right, they are a complete football team, but they're not playing complete football. They're not playing
They're winning.
Great. They are winning. But like Bill says, they are not playing great football. I don't know that it's a ploy. This team is vulnerable
bringing the truth
right
to it.
now.
Bringing the
This
truth
team
to it.
is vulnerable as it could be. When I watched this team the last couple of weeks, the Miami Dolphins, I'm saying, let me straighten my voice.
Say it again.
The Miami Dolphins could have beat this team. And last week, Seattle. If Seattle does not drop all these balls, they could have beat New England. So the Jets, you go in, if you play some sound football,
That's right.
sound football,
That's right.
they have a chance to upset the New England.
And special teams is probably a wash. That's an edge that the Patriots usually get. That's a wash with this football team.
Hey, now I don't want anybody checking my temperature. I know I said the Miami Dolphins could have beat their football team. I know it. I'm well.
Yo, we got to give some props to Curtis Martin. He just passed Hall of Famer Marcus Allen for 8th on the all-time list.
Great.
Let's just awesome. Roll this around in your mind. He's 31 yards shy of passing Jim Brown on the all-time rush.
Tommy's guy, Jim Brown.
Yes.
So, something to think about. Buckle it up, because we're going Sunday driving with Michael Vick. Destination, Comeback City. We'll show you how he got there yesterday against San Diego. And late news concerning Jerry Rice. Just crossed the game's best wideout ever. Something's about to go down. Stay with us. Mort has a report. Small fracture in his left leg. He hyperextended the leg while tackling Corey Dillon in the loss to the Patriots. And things get worse for Seattle. Much worse. We'll hear about that in a quick second. But first, this. Before yesterday, Michael Vick had not had a 200-yard passing day. He led the league in fumbles, tied for the league in sacks. Now, yes, they were 4-1, but you just knew, Jaws, sometime, somewhere, and time and where finally happened.
Oh, it happened, Stu. Yesterday, with the Falcons down 17-7. Hey, it was Michael Vick or Sick Vick time in the fourth quarter. He came to life. And the thing I love about Michael Vick in this game, he made some big plays from the pocket. This 1st and 10, he's got Peerless Price singled up to his left. He comes off the play-action fake, sets up nicely in the pocket. Look at the comfortable pocket. Look at his balance. Woo, look at that ball come out of his hands. Perfect throw to Peerless Price. A little bit later in this drive, look, he sets up in the pocket, 2 receivers running clear-out routes. Now Michael Vick sees a little seam right there because the defensive end comes inside, and no one gets the edge any quicker than Michael Vick. Once he gets outside, he's gone. Whoop, touchdown, 17-7. All of a sudden, Atlanta's back in the ball game. Also, now you look up on top, Des White sung up. I love this out of Michael Vick. He manipulates the secondary. He looks to his right, a little pump fake, comes back to Des White. Look at this throw, Michael Tommy, in the box. Nice air under it, but watch it from Des White's perspective. A little pump fake on the slant, and then the go route when the corner peers back in the backfield. That allows Des White to go deep over the top, and this throw is absolutely perfect. Look at him snare the ball, catch it in his hands like Michael says you should catch the football. And I love this one, 2nd and 6. Hey, it's a little stick route from L.J. Crumpler. Throw a little 6-yard pass. Not. It's the stick, nod, go. And look at Michael comfortably in the pocket. Now the stick and the nod froze the 3 underneath coverage defenders, and L.J. Crumpler makes the catch, move the chains. Now, you've got the lead. You've got to ice this game. This is beautiful. 2nd and 10, 2:23 to go. Well, you come out with a little bootleg, throw down the flat to Griffith. No, the defense, they're going to freeze on Michael Vick. He just checks it off to Griffith, move the chains, 1st down on the wheel route. Nice job by Michael Vick. And the Falcons go on to win it 21-20. And what I love about Michael Vick is the 2 big plays he made in the pocket. Certainly we showed the great Michael Vick SportsCenter highlight runs, but you could see every week he's getting better and better, more comfortable in the pocket, making those throws down the field. Those recess ball games are over, my friend. He's playing quarterback
Mike,
now.
what is it? I see this look on your face.
I'm just wondering why, I love a quarterback that stays in the pocket and throw the ball too. But he breaks all the rules when we are talking about quarterbacks. He is a different kind of fella. This is not a quarterback that can run. This fella flies. So you have to allow him to use. When he stood in the pocket, Jaws, he made some beautiful throws.
Thank you.
We know he can do that.
That's
but we also know what he can do when he gets outside the pocket. I have a problem with everybody saying keep him in the pocket.
So you're not talking about shelving the West Coast offense. You're just talking about making some adjustments, being flexible with a guy that runs a 4-2-40.
And allow him to do what he does best.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Move around.
Hey, I just want to see Michael Vick week 16, not have knocked out week 5 or 6.
He can get hurt anytime.
Anybody can get hurt.
88 yards passing first 3 quarters, 130 yards passing in the 4th quarter alone. Chris Mortensen got a ticket to the game, joins us tonight from St. Louis. Mort, huge news concerning Jerry Rice and concerning the Seattle Seahawks. Double-edged sword there. What's going on?
That's right, Stu. We have multiple sources who are telling us that Jerry Rice is this close to being traded to the Seattle Seahawks for a conditional pick, that Rice is, in fact, was saying his goodbyes to his Oakland Raiders teammates, was signing some memorabilia for some of the younger players today. This deal should be announced, if not by the end of tonight, certainly by tomorrow's trade deadline. Of course, the Seahawks almost signed Rice 2 years ago when he made the decision to go to Oakland. And one of the reasons Seattle's looking for a receiver, Stu, is that Corn Robinson is about to be suspended by the NFL for violation of the substance abuse policy. We have sources familiar with this case who confirm that he has had a 3rd positive test for a substance, and that he faces this 4-game suspension, and he is near the end of the appeal process. Of course, he can still win the appeal, but he is near the end of the appeal process. It looks like Robinson is about to miss some time.
All right, Mort, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. We'll hear from you with more later on in this show.
All right, Stu.
Still ahead on Monday Night Countdown. Is Carson Palmer the reason it's going badly for the Bengals? Are injuries or Jake Delhomme to blame in Carolina? And is Aaron Brooks' lack of leadership a sin for the Saints? Debate, discussion, and we might even argue a little bit. And why can't other receivers catch the ball the way these guys can? The reason may not be as simple as they're just not as good. Michael demonstrates the way you do and do not catch.
Sunday Drive is brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Capital One Mascot True Love Challenge.
12 handsome mascots will compete for this lovely maiden's heart. The one she chooses will be the Capital One National Mascot of the Year. Who will she spend her life with? The possibilities of love.
He has your exoskeleton.
A love that lasts forever and ever. Help Melissa choose by voting at CapitalOneBowl.com for the National Mascot of the Year. Tune in to the Capital One Bowl to see who wins.
What's in your wallet?
Assurance in rain means Goodyear's deeply carved aqua chutes propel water away from your tread. Assurance on ice means Goodyear's interlocking treads deliver gripping power. Assurance on dry pavement means Goodyear's reinforced shoulders give you confident maneuvering. The revolutionary new Goodyear Assurance with triple tread technology for assurance in any weather on the wings of Goodyear.
According to the government, neither of us exist.
The Incredibles. Rated PG. Last time on Dream Job, the prompter went down.
The Pats are presently on purpose. You were bad. Brian Sartari, you've been cut.
This week, no rest for the final 6. Dream Job, midnight Eastern, 9 Pacific, Tuesday on ESPN.
You know college football? Prove it with ESPN and the Ultimate Road Game presented by the Jeep brand. Log on to ESPN.com/contest for a chance to win an all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee, a trip to the BCS, plus hundreds of other prizes. College football begins Saturday starting at noon on ESPN.
I'm looking for someone who can do just about everything.
That's me.
Can you make color copies? Collate and bind my presentation?
Sure can.
Sign for deliveries?
Can do.
Pick up my dog at the groomer?
No.
Handle all my packing and shipping?
Worldwide.
Welcome. When can you start?
How about right now?
The UPS Store, helping your small business in more ways than you thought. Get it done. Get it done right at the UPS Store.
Welcome back to Monday Night Countdown, delivered by UPS.
Big ballin' in the Big East. College football Thursday night on ESPN. 14th-ranked West Virginia comes home to face Syracuse in a fat Big East showdown Thursday night, 7:30 Eastern after SportsCenter on ESPN. Mic check, the Rhythm and Rhyme Rec. I'm hanging with my boys, Mike. They come correct. But before we start open mic, Social Security kicks in today.
For Jerry Rice?
For the man who's 65 years old today.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Jerry. Congratulations. Hey, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Coach.
I'm just messing with you.
Jerry is not going to appreciate that.
I'm just messing with Jerry.
You got Jerry by a couple.
We'll talk about it.
All right, guys, open mic. Terrell Owens told Ricky Manning, you better bring your A-game. T.O. backed it up. Chad Johnson said Pepto-Bismol to Browns DBs. He did not back it up.
Well, in Terrell Owens' case, I have no problem with it. I mean, you can say, hey, he had 3 interceptions last year. He's not going to get 3 interceptions. We're going to shut him out. I'm going to take care of him. That's fine. He backed it up. Yeah, I don't believe you send anything to the other team and say, hey, here's Pepto-Bismol. You're going to have an upset stomach when the game's over. Plus, he's not a dominant receiver in the league right now. He hasn't proven he's a dominant receiver in the league. He drops more than he catches, Mike.
No, not Chad. You got it mixed up with the
No, he drops a lot of them.
No, Chad is
but he got to back it up. He can back it up.
I want everybody to do whatever makes you play, whatever will make you play your best game. And Chad feels he has to manufacture some mess by sending Pepto-Bismol and make him play his best game, then you do that. T.O. does that. It's all about putting the heat on me, making me play better. But T.O. showed up, and yesterday, Chad, he lost that battle.
Here we go, next topic. McNair, McNabb, Culpepper, Roethlisberger. Big brothers who can run. Does that mean every team now goes out and they find a big quarterback who can also move?
But, you left one guy off of there. I mean, and you left Michael Vick off.
The man of all men.
Right, and I mean, really, and that's what... people have to understand the quarterback position is a lot different than it ever was. It started with Elway. It started with a lot of guys who could move out of the pocket. Staubach, Montana, Steve Young. Every guy. Now you got guys. This guy is 270 pounds up in Minnesota. This guy is a big man. He's bigger than lineman when I play. And he runs about a 4.5 He got an arm like a cannon. This is a whole different animal. I mean, it's a different game.
And the problem is this.
Does that mean that every team should go out and get that?
Well, if you can find that now, but you cannot take away what he has to do. He still has. He has to throw the ball.
You're bringing this up because of Roethlisberger and the way he's playing as a rookie. The reason, this guy has a lot of poise. I mean, you can talk about his arm, his size, running. He has poise. He's making good decisions right now, and that's why he's effective. When he starts making bad decisions, he's not going to be quite as effective. But I don't see that in him. I see a guy, he's got poise way beyond his years. Vic is not having a great year, but you know what? They're 5-1.
But that's all I want to say. Yeah. When we keep saying Vic is not having even when we talk about Michael Vick, you have to change the rules. Michael Vick throws everything out. We keep talking about, well, Joe Montana stood in the pocket. This guy, we're holding him down if we allow him to just be Joe Mo.
The wrong offense for him, believe me.
Mike.
Redefining the position at quarterback. I said that weeks ago. Thank you, guys.
Speaking of redefining, the way this guy works out kind of redefines a defensive back's position. We'll hear more about that later in the show. Right now, let's go out to St. Louis and listen to Ed Werder speak the word about the Rams D.
Stuart, I was just talking to Rams coaches, and they said that their defensive emphasis is going to be try to get pressure early on Brian Griese, make him uncomfortable, create doubt. Their concern with that strategy is that the Bucs will gash them with Michael Pittman, pound them in the running game. If he gets a crease, he can go the distance, and the Rams won't be able to run him down from behind. There's additional concern about that possibility, Stuart, because they're going to start rookie Brandon Chiller at middle linebacker because their normal starter, Robert Thomas, is still suffering the effects of a sprained ankle.
All right, Ed, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Time for 3 and Out. One topic very quickly. Everybody make a point in the topic and then get off the field.
Get off the field.
Tonight's topic.
Defense.
Most disappointing teams in the league this year. Jaws, we start with you.
I was at the Eagles-Carolina game yesterday. It's got to be the Carolina Panthers.
But the injuries, though.
We have injuries. Certainly, a lot of teams have injuries. But, when you have injuries, your big players got to come up and make plays. And Jake Delhomme has not done that. He's gotten frenetic in the pocket. Certainly, he's taken some hits, but he's losing his mechanics. You look at him from a statistical standpoint, 9 interceptions. You can't turn the football over in John Fox style of play. 9 picks, most in the NFL. Only 7 touchdowns and a quarterback rating of 71.3. That's 25th in the NFL. When other guys are hurt, your quarterback's got to pick it up.
Jaws, I'm going to go with the Saints, and you're talking about a football team that's much too talented, and they're not a reflection of their coach, Jim Haslett, who was one of the toughest guys to play in this league. He's tough-minded. You look at their stats defensively, points per game last, yards per game last, rushing yards per game 31st defensively, passing yards per game 29th. All of that bothersome. And then you're the leader of the team, Aaron Brooks, offensively. Don't be smiling when you're losing a football game. Don't be laughing on the field.
Thank you, Tom. Can I get it now? I appreciate it, buddy. I'm going to take it. My team is the Cincinnati Bengals. And I know you guys want to jump on. The defense is playing horribly and last in the NFL in rush defense. That they are. But I want to talk about Carson Palmer. The decision to play Carson Palmer in the offseason. No, he did not win the job. I said this when I did the draft. You're putting this kid in an awkward position, and it's coming back to bite you.
You after the fact, man.
I said that in the draft.
No, we need this. I'm talking about the defense and all that. This is a plan. The kid was going to make mistakes.
Let me tell you something, Tom. Now, why can't they be like Indy and like Green Bay has to be, where your offense becomes your best defense? You know why I can't do that? Because I got a rookie, basically a rookie playing quarterback. When I had a young guy named John
now look
Kitna,
at Pittsburgh. You've got Ben Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh. You know what helps Ben? He's got a running game, he's got wide receivers, and he's got a defense. A quarterback is helped by all those other
if you don't have that help, why do you put a rookie in?
Because ultimately they're trying to win a championship.
That's right. It's a plan.
I'm so glad.
I'm not the boss. I just asked a question.
It's a plan that goes beyond this year.
We got some more arguing to do on
He
that.
doesn't understand that yet.
Next Monday.
Yeah, you trust me. Crank it up.
Brian Griese getting his first start as a Buck. His first start as a Bronco and his first start as a Dolphin both came on Monday Night Football, and in both games he threw 3 touchdown passes. It might not be like that, but Brian does like to remember his Monday night memories.
It was a gritty game of give and take in which the Buccaneers traded the lead 6 times with the Rams. With 5:18 left to play, receiver Torrey Holt ran a 72-yard touchdown that looked to win it for St. Louis. But the Buccaneers would not go quietly. One last 80-yard drive led them to a play that would decide the game.
Cross to Dunn. Oh, he's in. Touchdown.
Safety John Lynch sealed the victory with an interception, securing a spot in the playoffs.
Monday Night Memories are brought to you by IBM, the official on-demand business consultants for the NFL.
Many of his old Super Bowl buddies are gone, but yo, that doesn't stop Derek Brooks from getting loud and getting proud.
We rolling. We rolling.
How Rams safety Adam Archuleta is ready to turn you into the Bionic Man, or woman, of course.
We use plyometrics, we use eccentrics. We do things that are 100% functional on the football field.
Covering those Rams wideouts gives most D-backs nightmares. The Bucs' Rondé Barber takes us inside the film room to show us how he plans to put Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce to sleep. Talking about dozing for 3 quarters. The Rams offense snoozing in Seattle. So what woke him up? Jaws shows us how Mark Bulger went from deep sleep to just plain don't hate the player and definitely don't hate the playmaker. Michael Irvin showing big love to those who stepped up and made Week 6 their daddy. And hit me with your best shot. Fire away. Come on and hit us with your best shot. Hit me with your best shot. Fire away, TJ. All jacked up ahead.
Hello.
Yo.
Where are you?
I'm in London. Where are you?
We're in Paris. Thought you were in Tokyo.
Thought you were in Boston.
Change of plans. What's up?
Change of plans. We need to reroute the shipment.
New terms?
New terms, new specs, new schedule.
Show me.
There you go.
Change of plans. Okay, will do. See you in New York.
Change of plans. See you in L.A.
Au revoir.
Sayonara.
So what's up? The usual.
When change is part of the plan, that's on-demand business from IBM.
ESPN puts the spotlight on the highlight with ESPN 25 The Book. Available now.
Do you live it on the ground? Do you live it on the ground? Do you live it on the ground? Or make your living in the air? Freestyle air. Make your living in the air.
What will you do in the air? NBA Live 2000.
2005 with Freestyle Air. Rated E for everyone. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Do you have ingrown toenails?
Constipation. Hemorrhoids. Diarrhea could be.
That little itch might be telling.
Remove back hair. Say no to BO.
Commercials. That's why we keep our heads out the window. Buddy, it's time to get serious.
Sirius Satellite Radio. Over 120 channels, including commercial-free music, plus news, talk, and sports. Want radio your way? Ride with the big dog. Sirius Satellite Radio.
Oh, yeah.
It's chilly out there, so prepare. Prepare like never before. For the kind of chili that rattles your bones and shakes you to your core. The forecast is chilly. Bring it on. That's what the true fans say. A goosebump-raising chili that gets inside you and steals your breath away. Introducing Campbell's Chunky Chili.
Tomorrow night at 7, the Monster Shark Fishing Tournament. Also at 7, NFL Live.
You don't want to have to lose 2 straight. That is a tough loss.
At 10.
First of all, the ball is becoming wicked fast.
How far would you go for someone you love?
Are you serious?
And at midnight.
I don't really like to say this, but I have to. I kind of like you.
Who will survive another day on Dream Job? It's all on ESPN and ESPN2 tomorrow night.
What happens when 11 NFL players move into one house for one season?
I'm home. Tuesday through Saturday on ESPN2. Get all the latest updates, news, analysis, information from around the league. Twice a day in NFL Live. Mike Golick, Sean Salisbury join 3 Wingo. That's not
3 Wingo.
At 4:30 Eastern and again at 7 on ESPN2. Yo, let me tell you, 5 years from the second he retires, my man's going to the Hall of Fame. First player in history to gain 2,000 yards from scrimmage in 4 consecutive seasons. Macho.
Bad boy.
About to do some work. All right, guys, hurry up offense. I got questions. Y'all got answers. Quick. No thesis, no soliloquy.
All right, Joel. You heard that, Joel. Go ahead.
Here we go. First of all, who is the second best team in the NFC after Philadelphia? Tom?
Jeez. Come on, Tom.
Come on
with an answer.
No thesis, no soliloquy, no pausing.
Rams or Seattle?
Minnesota.
Rams or Minnesota. Randy Moss is hurt. He's out.
Minnesota.
He will be healthy.
Minnesota?
No.
Maybe.
The Rams.
Minnesota, maybe the Rams, Seattle. That's a maybe 2 teams.
Tough question.
Great. All right.
It's not that good.
Is team greatness in the NFL harder to attain or maintain?
It's harder to maintain. Because of free agency and movement, it's harder to maintain.
Right now, it's just harder to obtain with the guys that playing football right now.
Definitely harder to maintain. Free agency, the draft tries to make it a level playing
field. I can't find a good football player.
And a attain. Do the Jets have a shot at beating New England?
Oh, yeah.
Most definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Unanimous.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They have a shot.
They have a shot. Which total will be higher at the end of the year? Patriot wins or Dolphin losses?
Dolphins losses.
Most definitely.
Because I can't see a Dolphin. I'm having a hard time spotting one.
Dolphins 0-16. Patriots. Yeah, the Dolphins.
I'm on board. Dolphin losses.
Right. The Dolphins went 16-0. They might as well go 0-16 to get.
Is it time for Jaws to junk the Kansas City Super Bowl blueprint?
Absolutely.
Most definitely again.
Jaws. No way. Mathematically, they're still alive. I'm not
talking about right yet. Now. Get rid of it.
We're done.
Hard.
Sorry. We're going to bring back in Chris Mortensen, returning to us from St. Louis with the trade deadline information. It's approaching 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Let's talk about some players who could be on the move, Mort. Earlier, you talked about Jerry Rice potentially going to Seattle. What other players could be on the move before the deadline?
Well, we're going to talk about Keenan McCardell of the Buccaneers a little bit later, but, Chris Hovan, the defensive tackle for the Minnesota Vikings, he is being shopped around by the Vikings. They're looking for at least a 4th-round pick, although Mike Tice, the coach of the Vikings, said he and Hovan have had a talk recently, and he thinks Hovan might want to stay even after being demoted. into a nickel pass rush role. And the Bears are shopping Anthony Thomas, the former second-round running back. They like what they see from Thomas Jones. We don't know if they have any takers yet. Larry Johnson, the former first-round pick of the Kansas City Chiefs, a running back. He's also being shopped. And oh, by the way, a couple teams may be looking for some veteran quarterbacks. The Bears obviously unhappy with what they're seeing from Jonathan Quinn, giving backup Craig Krenzel a little bit more time. They might be looking for a veteran quarterback. And also the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, Ben Roethlisberger is the starter to stay, but Tommy Maddox's recovery is going a little bit slow, Stu, and so they are looking for a veteran quarterback as well.
All right, Mort, the Bucs' former starting quarterback Brad Johnson reportedly was going to ask for a trade. What are the details on that?
You know, I think that Brad Johnson, when he initially was demoted, he had some thoughts in, you know, in the back of his mind that, you know, maybe there might be another place. You know, maybe I'd be willing to go back up a Peyton Manning in Indianapolis, another team looking for a veteran quarterback, or even in Green Bay. But I think once that talk got out prematurely, Johnson decided, from what I'm told, that, hey, listen, he won a Super Bowl in Tampa. He wants to be a class guy in the locker room. He wants to be remembered fondly in Tampa. And so if he's traded, it's going to be because Bruce Allen, the general manager of the Buccaneers, makes that move before tomorrow. It's not the wish of Brad Johnson to be traded.
All right, Rich Gannon has gotten several different opinions from doctors. He's pretty much resigned himself to the fact that he won't play again this year. What's left for the future for Gannon?
But, you know, it's interesting. The day Rich Gannon said that he was going to evaluate his situation at the end of the season. In other words, he did not commit to retirement or commit to ending his career. He saw Dr. Robert Watkins in Los Angeles, a specialist last week, and Dr. Watkins told him this season was over, but gave him a little glimmer of hope by saying, well, we can reevaluate this at the end of the year if you want to. And, of course, Gannon, you know, it's 17 and a half years in the NFL, Stu, but this is a guy who didn't become a starter till after 10 years, and I don't think he's ready to let go yet, but I think ultimately that will be the decision, that he does in fact retire at the end of the year.
All right, Mort, we appreciate the knowledge. Later on in the show, you're going to have more of the latest on Keenan McCardell and the latest on Vinny Testaverde.
You got it, Stu.
Rams wide receivers, as a twosome, Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt have probably been the two best in the league the last 4 or 5 years. Kids catch almost anything that's thrown to them, and they catch that rock well. Here in the Staples Playmaking Made Easy field, you know, Mark Bulger's not completing 66% of his passes by accident. He has wide receivers who catch the ball well and catch the ball correctly being the key word, because sometimes it don't always happen correctly. Let's take a look at a couple of games from yesterday. Now, Terry Glenn does catch this ball. Looks like a nice catch, but why does he fall down?
Perfect throw. It's a Willie Mays catch. He's got easy catch and make it look hard.
That should have been a touchdown. He's 5 yards clear. And Corn Robinson, one of the most deceiving stat lines of the year, 9 catches, 150 yards, but he dropped about a handful of balls. Michael, why are good receivers dropping so many passes?
Why are receivers dropping them at all? Because no receiver should drop a pass. Rule number one.
Spoken like a receiver.
Is always be able to watch the ball all the way in to your hands, and that's not happening. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Tom, you come play DB, I'll play wide receiver.
Can I play quarterback?
That's what you do best, baby. That's what you do best. Now, I'll beat Tom on the deep route like Terry Glenn did yesterday. And Terry Glenn, when the ball was thrown, he did this. What did he do? He has his hands incorrectly in the wrong place because he creates a blind spot for himself. Now, when that ball's thrown, I may lose that ball right here, and outside of that, Tom, you see that? There's no arm strength right here. Now, the correct way to catch this pass, watching the ball all the time, all the way in to my hands. I beat him here, that pass is thrown. That's the correct way to catch that pass. And, Tom, rake down. Even the rake, my arm is much stronger in this position to catch a pass. And you see a lot of guys not doing that.
Yeah, Vinny threw it out there so he can run right through it.
Is there a time that you can let the ball get to your body? Because you always hear it, hits the pad, bounce off.
But there is a time, Tom, that I say it's okay to catch a ball in your pass. You play cornerback. Stu, this time play safety for me. I run a deep end route, and I get right here. If I can see that safety as I get ready to go in, when that ball comes to me, I'll catch it with my hands.
You'll catch it out.
And then I'll make a move on you. But now, I run that same route, you to DB, safety, and I don't see that safety. I know he's somewhere on the football field. He did not go to the bathroom. So when that ball is thrown to me,
I'm coming.
I'm going to catch it right here. So when I take that hit, You knock the ball, you lock the ball to my body as I go down to the ground to make sure I get
And also, if your arms are outstretched when this hit is coming.
If my arms are here and you stretch,
I can rake that
it's gone. The ball's gone.
Right.
You hit me in my ribs, ooh, then I'm going to have to go talk to you, Jaws.
I don't want that to happen.
Rams wideouts always catch the ball correctly. Plus, they're going to play a long time. Typical Rams. Out for the pass.
Oh, they'll catch it correctly.
Catch it. Oh.
They're going to play.
They go down. They go down. They go down. They will go down.
They're going to play for 20 years.
But it works. Both Terry Holt and Isaac Bruce, both of them 4 straight 1,000-yard receiving
That's
seasons.
him, Isaac and Torrey. That wasn't me.
Playmaking made easy. Brought to you by Staples. That was easy.
That was great.
That was good.
That was fun.
Who did work, who got job, and who deserves a big fat bonus? Michael Irvin identifies the playmakers of Week 6 straight ahead. And the only reason Dante Culpepper may put down the football is to pick up a pen and start rewriting the record books. John Madden on why the Vikings QB is having a fat season for the ages so far.
What's this, the Tokyo subway? You guys are stepping all over each other. All right, from the top. Sunday NFL Countdown. The hardest working pregame show in football. Sundays at 11 on ESPN.
On the next I Do Anything, 100-mile-an-hour heat is unleashed.
Chew and curl.
Strip and slide down the ice. And chasing tennis balls with nothing but net. I Do Anything, presented by Sony. Tomorrow at 10 p.m. on ESPN.
A revolution is underway. People everywhere are discovering a new way to protect their homes and families, all thanks to a new security system called SafeWatch EZ, only from ADT. Now you can arm your system with just the turn of a key, and with no codes to enter, SafeWatch EZ virtually eliminates accidentally setting off your alarm. Even if you misplace your key, you're still protected. It couldn't be easier or more affordable, because now you may qualify to get an ADT system installed for $0 down, plus save up to 20% on your homeowner's insurance. Ask about special offers for AARP members. Like every ADT system, SafeWatch EZ connects you to our monitoring center, where trained professionals watch out for you around the clock, helping protect you from burglary, fire, and carbon monoxide. No wonder we're America's #1 security company. Call now. ADT, always there.
Welcome back to Monday Night Countdown, delivered by UPS.
Welcome back to Monday Night Countdown. Here in St. Louis, running back Marshall Faulk on pace for a 1,200-yard season. But pay attention to rookie Steven Jackson. He's an emerging force who more and more is producing the big plays in the offense. The Rams have had 2 30-yard runs this season, both in the last 2 weeks by Steven Jackson, 1 in each game. Now, they can have some packages tonight where they would use both Faulk and Jackson, because Faulk has the ability to line up at wide receiver, or they can move Jackson to fullback in front of Faulk. And Stuart, when I asked Martz about his concern about the possibility of an injury with Jackson playing fullback, he said he's a big, tough, reckless guy, but I don't think he'd hurt anybody.
Oh, that nutty Mike Martz. Tim Brown, 3rd all-time in catches, 2nd all-time in receiving yards. He's a lifetime playmaker, a career playmaker. But as far as the playmakers of this week, boy, Mike looked good in that 3-piece suit, don't he? Come on, Mike. Stop it. Stop it, Mike.
Thank you, Stu. I do love my suits. And standing up here. Now, let's get started with this. Can I mention Willis McGahee? Great game back, Willis. You almost got in my playmakers, but here are the top 5 guys. Number 5, I told you guys yesterday, Green Bay, you want to win, go to the air first. And you got a guy like Donald Driver to catch the passes. 9 receptions, 110 yards, 2 touchdowns yesterday versus the Lions. Donald Driver, you are a playmaker. That's a playmaker catch right there. Number 4, he was walking around on one leg yesterday like he did last year, a couple years ago, in Marshall, but his right arm was still a cannon. Look at these throws, man. Byron Leftwich. Byron, 298 yards, 2 TDs, even rushed for 25 yards. Some people say he can't run. 25 yards is good running. Clint Portis is my number 3 guy.
Where's he from?
He's from the U, and yes, he says they knew the plays 2 weeks ago, but they they didn't know the plays yesterday. That's why he rushed for 171 yards on 36 carries. My number 2 guy, that guy we've been talking about all night, that guy with that pepper, that hot guy, Dante Culpepper.
He's
425 yards, 5 TDs, guys. 5 TDs. And did you see that one play where he ran that guy down? That's what I'm talking about, a playmaker. I didn't want to put this guy back in here. I didn't even know who this guy was 3 weeks ago. But the last 2 weeks, he's been on my playmaker. Ruben Jones, you become my top playmaker with 100 and what, 70-something yards? This man is going off the chain. I guess, Mike Shanahan, you are right. You can't put anybody back there. Jaws can probably rush for
absolutely.
yards.
And Ruben Jones plays the Bengals this coming up week. Not the best run defense in the league.
Worse.
Yeah. There have been only 3 games in the history of the NFL where a team has come back from a 16-point deficit in the final 6 minutes of the game. Only 3 ever. And 2 of them happened within minutes of each other last Sunday. One being the Rams' rollback on the Seahawks. I mean, that's among the topics John Madden and I talked about. Are the high-flying Rams as dangerous as ever?
Yeah, and I think it's probably more dangerous when they play here. You know, this is one of the few artificial turf fields left in football, and when these guys play on this field, they're shot out of guns. And the big thing that has really helped them is their 2 young receivers, Sean McDonald and Kevin Curtis, because we know about, you know, Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt, and then when they had, remember when they had Oz Hakeem and Ricky Prohl? And if you go 1, 2, then they hurt you with 3. If you go 1, 2, 3, they get you with 4. Well, they're back to that now with those 2 guys, and Isaac Bruce is having a great year. Torrey Holt's one of the best receivers in football. You add those 2 guys to it, and plus, you know that, you know, in the backfield you always have Marshall Faulk, and now they have Steven Jackson that can be a change of pace for him. So they have the guys on offense. To me, the question is, do they have the line to protect Mark Bulger for all those things?
Speaking of guys on offense, Dante Culpepper had his 3rd 5-touchdown pass game this season. Johnny Unitas never had one. Now, we all know that confidence plays a big part in any sport, but how much of a role does confidence play for the quarterback position?
You know, I think it's so big for Dante Culpepper, but I think the other guys, the defenders are starting to believe it now. You know, they're going over there and they're not rushing him. You know, they're because he's so big and strong and he can run, and they know they don't want to bounce off him. They don't want to be an ESPN highlight. So I think they're getting so cautious that sometimes, you know what 7-on-7 is, skeleton, where you don't have any. Sometimes he just looks like he's playing 7-on-7. There's no rush. I mean, he's big and he's just back there and throwing the ball, and then he can run with it. I don't know. He's really rolling this thing, and he's pretty doggone good right now.
Some of those touchdown passes, he's got enough time in the pocket to bake some cookies, do his tax returns and everything, call up every family member before he throws the ball.
Right, and I think, you know, part of that is the offensive line protection, and part of that is Dante Culpepper. I mean, heck, he weighs 265 pounds. I mean, he's bigger than the guys that are rushing him. And I think that they get awfully cautious in their rush. I mean, it's hard to come at him with, you know, the old reckless abandon deal, because you're going to come with your reckless abandon and you're just going to bounce right off him.
All right. Last Monday night, we saw Tennessee just absolutely dismantle Green Bay. Yesterday, Green Bay looked like world beaters. Tennessee, they were dismantled. How does this keep happening week in and week out?
You know, I think when we use the word parity, I think this is what we're talking about, where you have teams like Green Bay and Tennessee that are good enough to win, and they're also bad enough to lose. That, you know, when you look at Green Bay, you can't forget they still have Brett Favre. I mean, they still have Ahman Green. They still have a pretty good offensive line. They just don't have all the pieces. Tennessee, you know, still has Steve McNair. They still have Keith Bullock. They still have guys there. They just don't have enough of the guys. So those are 2 teams that I think when you think they're good, they're going to be bad. When you think they're bad, they're going to be good.
Wait a second, but if you think they're good,
yeah, then
they're
the opposite.
Bad.
You know, you just go like this.
Bad, good. But bad meaning bad meaning bad, not bad meaning good.
No. Bad meaning bad.
Okay.
When you think they're good.
Right. Good. John, we'll see you in the Monday Nighter tonight.
Okay, thanks, Stuart.
All Madden, brought to you by T-Mobile. Get more minutes, more features, more service.
When Adam Archuleta, well, you know, Adam Archuleta,
yeah, we know who.
When he's not hitting wideouts, he's hitting the gym hard. And wait till you see his training methods and how it led to underwear modeling.
What?
Ladies, look out. And the best offensive weapon the Bucs will have will be at home tonight, watching Monday Night Football like you. How Tampa Bay is handling Keenan McCardell and how it affects their team. The sky cam, and it is bringing you the picture of this. Well, it's not really the Rams running out in the field. It's some of the Rams kickers running out in the field. Quarterback. Here's Mark Bolger. Pull your socks up, you get fined. Chris Mortensen, never fined, at least not often. More NFL news. More, the Cowboys dropped to 2-3 with the loss yesterday to the Steelers. Is Bill Parcells thinking about making changes?
He's not saying, but I think it's safe to say that Vinny Testaverde probably has 1 or 2, maybe 3 more starts left. If this thing continues south, at some point Parcells is definitely going to take a look at Drew Henson to see if, in fact, they have a future franchise quarterback in Drew Henson. Of course, Tony Romo, another young quarterback who's actually number 2 on the depth chart right now, would also get another look. But I don't think there's any doubt that Drew Henson and perhaps Tony Romo will be getting their shot here with Vinny Testaverde moving to the sidelines if this thing continues the way it's going.
More off the field, the Ricky Williams saga continues. What is the latest on Williams' attempt to return to the NFL this season?
Well, Ricky Williams and his representative, David Cornwell, will meet with league officials, including players' union officials, Thursday in Santa Monica, California. And David Cornwell, that representative, said today that they are looking to clarify Ricky's status in the substance abuse program. Now, the word I'm getting from the league and the union is there's really no status to clarify. He can't play right now, and it's a real long shot that Cornwell can change their mind. Cornwell is looking for reinstatement of Ricky Williams to the Miami Dolphins and reinstatement immediately, Stu. That's a long shot.
All right, more at the Bucs. They're 1-4. They're still waiting on the return of holdout wideout Keenan McCardell. Could Keenan be moved before tomorrow's trade deadline?
You know, I just spoke to Bruce Allen, the general manager of the Bucs here, just a little bit ago, and he basically said that same line, never say never, and there are no absolutes. And other league sources are saying there are some discussions going on. So far, teams that have needed receivers, like the Baltimore Ravens, the Chicago Bears, the Kansas City Chiefs, they've resisted these talks. But McCardell met with John Gruden a week ago. Those talks went nowhere, and McCardell said, well, if you don't trade or release me, I'll be there week 10 to get my service time. So right now, we're watching the clock on McCardell until 4 o'clock Eastern time on Tuesday.
All right, Mort, we appreciate the knowledge, man. Have a good game. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
The Tampa Bay Bucs need something. Their offense 10th in the league last year, but they won just 7 games this year. Tampa Bay 1-4, 26th in the league in total offense. They're next to last in the league in scoring offense. They have an NFL low 8 red zone opportunities in their 5 games, resulting in just 1 touchdown. Now, guys, a couple of things. First, McCardell's under contract. Yes, some people feel like he should honor it. Other people feel like teams don't honor contracts when they cut guys, so why the double standard? Also, in most cases, if a guy is clearly the best offensive threat in his team, he gets a new deal. The old one gets ripped up, he gets a new one. Now, forget all of that.
Right.
The Bucs are making a point. Are they doing it at the expense of wins?
They are sending a crazy message to the rest of the team. Because I look at it like this. This was your best offensive player a year ago. And what does he get? He gets to sit out. You mean to tell me Bruce Allen and the rest of these guys will not come together and say, hey, come in, let's do some talking. And then as this season goes on, Jaws, and we continue to play poorly like we are on offense, you cannot go out and get Keenan McCardell to come in. What message are you sending to that young wide receiver? Look, young Clay, play well, play hard, and when you get this great and you want more money for great play, we'll leave you sitting out. It's a bad message all the way around.
That's a nice argument. Let me play Tampa Bay spin doctor on this one. When you look at the 2 wide receivers that are replacing Keenan McCardell at the Z position, which John Gruden always says his Z receiver is going to catch a lot of balls. Go back to Philadelphia when he was the coordinator. Go back to Oakland. The Z receiver always caught a lot of balls. Now, you take Michael Clayton and Tim Brown. Through 5 games, they have caught 40 passes. That projects out to 128 receptions for the year. So they're getting, they got 2 touchdowns. How many? But they're getting production
that's
from
2
those.
Together, that's 1 apiece.
The combination. But they're getting, I'm playing spin doctor here.
Yeah. Boy, you're not doing a good job spinning.
Wait a minute, 128 catches isn't good from the Z position.
But you can make that same argument with running backs. You know, these 2 guys add up to the same yardage as this one guy, but you'd always rather have that one guy giving you that production, that cohesion between quarterback, wide receiver. My question is, why can't they do something with Keenan McCardell? And maybe they are in the process of doing that right now. This guy's sitting at home, you're losing football games, and we all as players understand the most important thing in the league is to win
ball
games. I know they're taking a hard line. This goes all the way back to Keyshawn, Warren Sapp. This is a hard line right now.
Do you know who leads in touchdowns for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I actually do. It's Rondé Barber.
That's wide receiver?
No. He's playing on the other side of the ball.
My bad. He played defense. Oh, okay.
Only 12 men in history have ever caught 2 touchdown passes in one Super Bowl game. Keenan McCardell is one of them.
Yeah.
He's a heck of a player. That's not the question.
Make it one of them.
That's not the question.
That's why I called
He
you
the boss. I know.
That's why I called you
another one of them. I'm just saying. All right, skinny dude, 6 feet tall, 165-pound walk-on at Arizona State. Adam Archuleta, that was him about 8 years ago, before working out. Not just working out. I mean, before a unique regimen designed to increase explosiveness through muscle response. Basically, instead of just bench pressing 225 pounds, try dropping 225 pounds on you to catch. Yeah, banana stuff that has added 40 pounds to his frame, increased his bench press to over 500 pounds, and lowered his 40 time to under 4.4. Alex Flanagan found out with Archuleta backstage.
What is the training method that you do?
There's a lot of different concepts. You know, we use plyometrics, we use eccentrics. Everything is explosive. It's high speed, high velocity, high intensity. We work on teaching the body to absorb force. We train the nervous system first and foremost. We do things that are 100% functional on the football field.
How do you train the nervous system?
The nervous system controls everything, and how you're able to contract and relax your muscles, you know, is ultimately what creates an athlete.
When you transform your body like you did, a lot of people automatically think drugs, steroids.
Yeah.
How do you answer that?
It is what it is. You know, people are going to assume. I understand the way people think. I just think in this culture, people really don't understand the value of hard work, and don't understand that there are sacrifices. It goes with the territory.
What we're gonna do?
Never in my life would I ever thought that I would be making a workout DVD, you know, because, you know, most of them that you find are kind of cheesy, and, you know, it's just kind of weird.
Is yours cheesy?
I mean, probably, you know, there's probably some of that in there. It's fun.
All right, new venture for you. You recently shot an underwear ad for Under Armour.
Who told you this?
Oh, we have our ways of finding out. What was that like?
It was one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever had to do in my entire life. I was very apprehensive, but, you know, I went along with it. I don't know if it's weird, a pro football player doing underwear modeling. I'm going to probably take a lot of heat. You know, the guys are going to get on me about this one, but, you know, it is what it is.
All right, here's the big question. Boxers or briefs?
Oh, no, you got to go with that.
The team seemed to struggle in the first 3 weeks of the season and then really changed against San Francisco and Seattle. What changed?
You know, I think we've kind of been spoiled here, you know, for a while, you know, really just having our way with the NFL. And I think subconsciously, psychologically, guys, you know, kind of expect that by being on the Rams. Early in the year when that doesn't happen, I think, you know, you tend to get down on yourselves. But then once you get some momentum, you get some confidence, good things start to happen, and I think that's what we're starting to do right now.
The defense has given up a number of big plays this year. Why has that happened?
You know, we've been using the same defensive philosophy here 3 years, you know, and there's kind of a change. And I think guys are getting used to the transition. And, you know, the more we play with each other, the more we understand our new coordinator, you know, the better our defense is going to play, and we'll be back, you know, we'll be back to making plays again.
Speaking of defenses playing better, not a lot to cheer about in Tampa, but that won't stop Derek Brooks from making some noise. Number 55 wired for sound ahead.
I hear you, Sal. Sal told him what we were going to do up front. Let's go, D. We still dominating.
And last week, Mark Bulger looked sunk against the Seahawks, then suddenly he was sharper than a shark's tooth, which brings us, of course, to Jaws. What the Rams QB did to bite back and get a win for the Rams. Stay with us. We ain't going nowhere. We don't want you to either.
biggest event on DVD. The day after tomorrow. Own the DVD today.
Oh, we'll be fine.
Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL, presents defensive lineman Brenson Buckner, who gets ready for the game with his Visa card and a lot of lip balm. In a remarkable pregame ritual, Brenson kisses his cleats once for every beloved member of his family. His son, Brandon. His mother, Thelma. His wife, Denise. Not his father-in-law, Thomas. He's a Browns fan. He's got his Visa. He's got his lip balm. He's ready.
I got a lot of names.
Visa, get ready for the game.
TC, a.k.a. Tender Crisp. Spicy, a.k.a. Spicy Tender Crisp. The Golden Bird TC versus the Red Hot Spicy.
Está rojo de caliente.
2 chickens, 1 quest. Burger King presents the Chicken Sandwich World Championship. See who wins free on DirecTV. Tender Crisp, Spicy Tender Crisp. Decide which one's best at Burger King now.
Looks like someone got in late last night.
I tried to call, but I couldn't get through. It won't happen again. No, it won't.
Staying in touch is easy with GSM America from AT&T Wireless. With double the coverage and improved signal strength, it's our best network ever. Sign up now on a qualified plan and add extra lines for $9.99 each.
Don't forget to pick up your brother after practice. Call me if you're going to be late. That's right. You can't.
GSM America from AT&T Wireless. How many bars do you have?
Get ready for the biggest event.
It's one of many tornadoes.
In 10,000 years.
What we do?
I will come for you. The day after tomorrow. Own it on DVD today.
This is the real thing.
The next pick at the United Way Draft belongs to the food bank.
We select Brian Urlacher.
Now, we need a ruling because Urlacher was already selected by the Home Restoration Program. Erica.
Okay, well, I just spoke to the United Way, and Urlacher is allowed to simultaneously volunteer.
So how does Brian Urlacher get drafted twice? Well, he's got a big heart, and he's really devoted to the Chicago community.
The Toy Drive picks next, and word is they're also looking at Urlacher.
We're going with Urlacher.
Get involved in your community. It's what matters.
Richard Jefferson's birthday. John.
June 21st.
Correct. Elton Brand's favorite restaurant.
Crystal Bay, Peekskill, New York.
That would be Crystal Bay, Peekskill, New York. That's right, Tim. Hey, Elton, you got to buzz in.
NBA Shoot-Around, the pregame show with all the answers, November 3rd on ESPN.
Welcome back to Monday Night Countdown, delivered by UPS.
Welcome back to Monday Night Countdown. Here in St. Louis, Bucks coach John Gruden has just made a significant coaching decision. Kenyatta Walker, who lost his offensive line position when Gruden reworked all of those positions in the offseason, is going to replace Todd Stussy and make his first start of the season at right tackle. That puts him opposite Leonard Little, the Rams' best pass rusher. The Rams also intend to blitz Adam Archuleta, the safety, off that side. One other starting change for the Bucs, Stuart. That'll be at middle linebacker, where Jeff Gooch replaces Sheldon Quarles, who's out tonight because of a quad injury.
Thank you, Ed. Now, you'd expect one of those Barber twins to be leading his team in touchdowns, right? I mean, Tiki is a running back. Giants run the ball. Yeah, Tiki does lead his team in touchdowns. But as Michael told you, so does Rondé, and he's a DB. I mean, sure, it speaks volumes about the lack of Tampa's offensive production, but it also shows the skills of a guy whose coach is thinking about playing him on the offense. And inside slant, we show the dedication of Rondé.
The best on 3. 1, 2, 3, the best.
The Rams offense, they feel like they can beat just about anybody. Torrey and Isaac are guys that are real athletic, guys that can move off the ball. Defending these guys is a little more difficult than teams that try to just beat coverages. These guys really like to beat the one-on-one matchup.
Home run ball, Torrey won't run it. In the end zone, what a grab! What a grab, Torrey home!
Watching film, something I do constantly. I want to feel like I'm prepared. Don't necessarily want to see everything. You just kind of want to get a feel for how the offense is moving. You'd think that Atlanta would have the advantage here. 4 deep defenders against their 2 vertical receivers. So you can actually see down here, this corner really has help to the inside with this other safety. And he shouldn't give up his outside leverage, but this is Torrey. Look what he does to this corner. He gets him open, going towards the middle of the field, having to turn and run and come back downhill. Goes up, makes a heck of a catch there.
Watch the rim pass, Rondé.
Haven't played him 3 or 4 times the past couple of years, going all the way back to 1999. These guys stem a lot in their routes. By stemming, I mean he's not just running straight up the field. You see how he's moving the defensive back by working in, working out, and then coming back in. They're so fluid in and out of their breaks. They don't have a lot of opportunities to get in front of these guys.
He ran 3-step. I should have came up to him on the outside. That was my bad, man.
This is at the end of the game against Seattle, and this is the game winner. Seattle brings the house, brings everybody. It's zero coverage. You got your 4 defensive backs on your 4 wide receivers. In theory, there's more people to get home than there is guys to block.